It's time for the weekend garden walk again. Plenty of interesting updates and plenty of, bumblebees flying around. And look at this! Exciting! My cameraman is out of town today, so I will be showing you the garden this weekend. So what's new and exciting? Well, the majority of wonderful events are happening in this side of my garden, the side garden room. And look at that beautiful blue sage I just planted today. But first, let's go and see and look at the back, what's happening in this corner. So at the back, near the wall, we were growing mountain laurel. And look at those sticks. Don't they look miserable? Right there. So mountain laurel was getting very sick there in the corner. It was getting very old. And mountain laurel responds well to rejuvenating pruning, like drastic pruning. As you can see, it is drastic pruning right there. So what I did, I came in, I cut all the foliage out. I left a little bit of leaves here and there. And let's see what happens. I want to make sure that I'm staying on top of watering, since when tree goes through such a drastic treatment, it does need to face only that treatment instead of facing drought and drastic cut down. So next to mountain laurel, here against the chimney wall, we have beautiful clematis. And you know what, this year they're not doing really well. I think they were struggling with the drought there. So they're quietly performing there. Usually they are much bigger. Well, I still enjoy their beautiful presence here, you know. We had a light rain right now, so everything was refreshed. And this area, maybe you notice on the camera, is a little bit lighter here. And the reason is because I went ahead and trimmed several branches from our side tree here. This branch was stretching all the way out and was creating quite a shade very far. And the reason why I did it, because I needed a very sunny spot here for this beautiful sub-shrub right here. Recently I went to the garden center, and this is the last one they had. And this is denim and lace sage. And this type of sage doesn't flop, has very sturdy, nice stems. And, you know, after watching Laura from Garden Answers and seeing how she planted denim and lace sage around her fountain, it was many years ago she did it. Oh my gosh, it took my breath away. And even if this sage is, you know, past its prime blooms, I know that it's going to be doing so well in my garden, and the bloom time of this sage is so long. A wonderful plant. I wanted to have it for a long time, so finally I put my hands on it. I gave it plenty of space here. Again, I trimmed the branch of the tree to make sure that this area would be nice and sunny. I also will try to keep this area on a dry side. Next to my denim and lace sage, look at this beautiful thing. And this is Victoria rhubarb. Victoria rhubarb is famous for being like the staple among all the rhubarbs. It was cultivated in Great Britain approximately 100 years ago. And it is one of the best of rhubarbs for cooking because it has beautiful, sturdy, thick stems. It creates those stems freely and on nice and sturdy leaves which are not flopping. So Victorian rhubarb is being in cultivation for more than 100 years, and it's still considered to be one of the best ones. And I was thinking to buy seeds of rhubarb and start planting them on my own. But you know, rhubarb matures kind of slowly for the first 2-3 years. You can't really harvest the stems. So when I saw this rhubarb in the garden center, so nice and big and thick, I said to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy this rhubarb, and maybe by the end of summer I would be able to harvest those long stems. So Victoria rhubarb is famous for greenish stems. It doesn't have those reddish stems. And you know what? I have a very interesting story about this plant. Many years ago, when I was a child, I remember my granny used to send me to the back of her garden to harvest all the rhubarb stems for wonderful rhubarb strawberry pies she used to make. And I remember I had two rhubarb plants, were quite mature and big. So today I was talking to my mom, and my mom lives in Ukraine, and I asked her about those memories. Do you remember, Mom, how I used to go to pick up rhubarb stems for wonderful Granny's rhubarb strawberry pie? And my mom said to me, you know what, Olga? That rhubarb plant is still growing there. And we still go there every year, every summer, and we still make rhubarb pies of that plant. So look at this. This rhubarb probably is going to outlive me because my granny's rhubarb was there before I was born, probably. And it's still living. Well, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it is probably around 50 years old. And I have wonderful memories going to harvest something with your own hands and then eat it as, you know, as a rhubarb pie. And it was quite tasty. So I would like to plant this rhubarb here and maybe enjoy the rhubarb pie by the end of summer. What do you think? Isn't that exciting? The only thing with rhubarb plant is you have to kind of think twice where you are planting it because it doesn't like to be transplanted. It's such a long-living plant. So maybe I will give this spot a second thought. I'm not sure how rabbits are with rhubarbs, young rhubarbs coming out of the soil. I have to research it because if they're going to eat this rhubarb mercilessly every spring here, I might as well not plant him here. So this is the story of this corner in my garden. Exciting, isn't it? And hopefully my mountain laurel will spruce up at the back. I will keep you posted. All right. And now let's turn around and let's go and see how Bluebeard is doing by the side of my steps. So last week, during my last weekend garden walk, I bought from the nursery this wonderful Bluebeard plant. And you overwhelmingly voted to plant it by the side of my steps here near my Vanessa Bell Rose. So I did. I planted it out, and you know what I like about planting plants out? Right away you see that relief in several days. You see a beautiful relief on the plant. Kind of the plant is saying, okay, let me wiggle in and settle in my new location. So, plenty of sun. Bluebeard has wonderful, gorgeous blooms. And of course, this year the performance from Bluebeard is not going to be great, but I'm patient, and it is sub-shrub, so the presence of this beauty with its beautiful summer blooms will be just gorgeous. I gave my Vanessa Bell Rose plenty of space here, since she's stuck between two shrubs now, between the mighty Japanese holly growing tall and trying to get bigger and bigger. And on another side, now Vanessa Bell has my Bluebeard. But look, Bluebeard, I think, will have plenty of space here. All right. Oh, I made sure that I protected it with sticks, just in case a funny ball will decide to hit the base of my wonderful Bluebeard. What is happening on the steps? Well, steps are getting more and more populated with green things. I like it. We have a big presence of sedums here. And look at this nice little foliage. Oh, I like it. Look at this. It is a lace flower green mist. So I'm hoping it's going to create, this lace flower is going to create beautiful dome flowers. For right now, it is in its small baby space. All right, last blooms of Vanessa Bell. They're wet from rain. Oh, a Japanese beetle? No. Never, our Japanese beetles never arrived. Can you believe it? Oh, some of the leaves don't look very well. Okay, so these are the last blooms from Vanessa Bell. And that would be it for her here. And on another side, let's see. Oh, there is a bloom on the ground. We had rain, so probably that was just enough to push the stem down. And this would be the last blooms of Lady of Shalott. All right, let's see. Oh yes. I like how my Lady of Shalott changes color. Oh, she's all heavy and wet from all the rain. All right, I will let her fall here. I do have one success story at the back here, near our dining area. Let's go and see what's happening there. So this here, I built this support for Katrina Rose. And Katrina Rose was struggling. And now finally, I must say that Katrina Rose decided to live after all. This area at the bottom is very shady, and I was worried. I almost used systemics on this baby rose. But you know, Katrina is such a hardy rose. It will eat the house if you're not watching. So look, the development is this. I took all the infected foliage off, and now my Katrina looks like it's turning the corner. Look, all this growth is being created, last week? And Katrina is growing. Wonderful. She had just several little blooms this year, and you know, the beauty of this rose is in the masses of flowers, not in the individual flower. Look at this beautiful green new shoot growing strong. Great. Happy about this rose here. See them pushing high. Soon it will be blooming. And Bacopa on my handmade pouch, growing pouch, decided that she likes this space after all. Look at this happy little Bacopa. Oh, growing happily. Wonderful. You know what? Somebody asked me what I keep in my cute little garden shed. I find this shed to be very convenient because, you know, going back and forth between all the garden shears and cutters and whatnot, it's kind of convenient to have it at the back instead of running into the garage all the time. And it has a nice little design here. It looks very quaint. So let's go and see what's inside there. It's a typical shed with a little bit of space. As you can see, everything is on top of each other. So what do I have here? Here all my tools, my insecticidal soap, isopropyl alcohol for disinfecting my pruners. And I always, when I go around the garden, it's just by default. I take insecticidal soap with me. Since there are so many aphids, and I mean, I don't spray everything left and right with that soap, but I do like to have it just in case I have some white flies or some aphids or who knows what. Our train and the last of generous gardener. Oh, my gentle rose. The ducky is getting greener and greener. I guess she has a lot of shade here. We inherited this ducky with the house. Tiger lilies at the back. All right, let's go to the front of the house and see what's blooming there. The front of the house is being dominated by my hydrangeas. One smooth leaf hydrangea in the front, the pink one, and then incredible at the back. And the pink hydrangea does have strength to stand up to the rain, and maybe she's protected here under the canopy of maple trees. Oh, it looks good here. I like its presence. Every year I look forward to see this hydrangea here. An incredible hydrangea just fell from all the rain. Let's go and look at her closely. It's like the whole ocean of whites swimming around, and every year, so there are two of them growing, and actually I propagated one at the back. I kind of put a little stem into the ground, so there is another one growing. You can actually see this growth here. That's another hydrangea at the back growing. Look at this color. Isn't this delightful? Oh, let me put my hands into it. Oh, they're so heavy from the rain. Oh, wonderful. Look at all the water coming out. And the color is so nice and clean. And I do like light green foliage. Oh, beautiful. What did I do without this hydrangea here in the front of the garden every year, right? I love it. Okay, roses in the front, just a little bit of blooms. And you know what I found out with the Queen of Sweden? If I trim them really low after their first flush of blooms, they're not going to create those long octopus shoots, which are going to the second, almost to the second floor of the house. So that's what I figured out with Queen of Sweden hydrangea. All right, and probably the last thing I'm going to take you to look at. Vegetable garden does look good in the front here. So sage finished its blooms. You see the yellowish foliage. Sage is actively forming seeds. And Nepeta, Walker's Low, is finishing its blooms. And here we have wonderful peas climbing up. Mints. Black currants. Look at these nice fat peas. Oh, just wonderful. I can do a nice stir fry from them, you know? All right, here we have parsley. We had our first harvest of baby tomatoes. And look at our tiger lilies. And of course, they're not looking at me who planted them. They're looking at our neighbors. They're stretching towards the sun. Let's go and look closer at them. And look what else is here. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Speedwell, I'm deadheading it actively. So Speedwell is producing new blooms. Lilies are going to be the show here very soon. And look at these tiger lilies. Many blossoms. I see a lot of new ones, so there would be many good blossoms this year. All right, my dear gardeners, we will see you in our next video, and happy gardening!